Do you think at 13 you would find your forever? I thought I did. I met Andre when I was 13. He was 19. I had a friend in the apartment complex we lived at with my mom and my 3 younger siblings. My friend Jennifer lived next door to me with her boyfriend, and Andre was his best friend. I met Andre and instantly felt close and safe with him. He was 6 years older than me. He had a job, a car, and when we would talk about life, he would always say us. So I no longer felt alone in this life. My home life was crazy. My mom, myself, and my 3 younger sisters and brothers all lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. I think in a way, when I looked at Andre, I saw a way out of my crazy home at the time with my newfound forever love. I moved in with him and we moved place to place. I made a fake ID saying I was 16. Back then, all you needed was a photocopy to get a job, so that's what I did. I started working at Kyoto Bowl on 32nd Street in Thomas till I was 14. We found out I was pregnant. We were happy and in love. I had my son Kane soon after I turned 15. Andre and I had our ups and our downs, but we stuck it out, never really working on any of our issues. And on February 10th, 2003, we got married. I was 20 years old. Andre was illegal. He was born in Canada, and to get his papers to stay in the United States, we had to get married. So that's what we did. I married Andre because I loved him. I thought he was my forever, and he was the father of my son. I've heard since that he married me for his papers. Who knows? A year went by and CPS had came to our apartment with my 2 younger sisters saying that my mother had a psychotic break and asked if the girls could be placed with us. We said yes. The girls were 12 and 13-ish. I put them in school and became a parent to them both without a second thought. About 3 years had passed, and Andre and I grew further apart. Now working 60-plus hours a week, just trying to stay afloat, I had started to notice things, like my kitchen being totally rearranged and my side of the bed being messy when I would come home late from work. My sister Melinda, who was now 16 years old, being disrespectful towards me. It took me some time, but I put it all together. I wasn't sure, so I sat my husband down, and I told him I was uncomfortable with any of the children in our room. The time went by and nothing changed. By this time, Melinda was in trouble at school, and my forever was falling apart. I called the CPS case manager so that Melinda could find new home placement. Our CPS case manager set a court date that my older brother Bobby showed up to. And when the judge asked if there was anybody in our family who could take her, my brother said she could live with him. Andre moved out of our apartment that we shared. And when I would say to anybody in my family that I felt like there was something going on with Andre and Melinda, I was told that I was crazy and he would never do that to me. I started taking pain pills and using cocaine and drinking a lot more, and soon I had gotten my first DUI, followed by my second one 6 weeks later. This was really the beginning of the end. My son was staying with my older sister more and more, and using became my life. The guilt and the shame and the pain of what my life had become kept me in this dark place. I was in and out of jail, and prison was for sure in my future. And in 2013, I was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. I got out May 7th, 2016, and only lasted 30 days clean and sober. I was using every day and every night while on probation, and I soon found myself in trouble and on my way back to prison for 6 more years. I knew this time had to count for something, so I started going to meetings and working a 12-step program and signing up for different classes, one of which my friend Boston had taught. It was called life scripting. It taught me to understand why we do what we do and how to reframe our thoughts and the power of forgiveness, real forgiveness, and the healing that comes from it. I really worked on myself and I started to see it. My brother Bobby came to see me in prison, and we would email all the time. I'd call him every week. He always has been my rock. Then one day I got an email from my son telling me what was going on in his life and that the past was the past and that he loved me. Soon after that, he applied for phone calls, and I called him almost every day. I knew that this had to be God working in my life, and for the first time in a long time, I was excited about my future. I have learned that it's not always about the family relationships I have lost along the way, but about nurturing the relationships I have in my life today. And towards the end of my prison sentence, a friend of mine named Tammy, along with Boston, told me about Magdalene House and how it was designed to help women getting out of prison like me. And all you needed was the willingness and the want to better life for yourself, and that it was faith-based. I needed and wanted all of that. Along the path of addiction, I had forgotten how to live. I wish I would have known that there was this kind of program sooner with these amazing women who really just want me to succeed in life by helping us and teaching us how to live again and take care of ourselves. I want to take this time to really thank Deacon Gay and all the girls that came around me to support me and to help me rebuild my life by giving me a safe place and time to work on myself. And I don't know what God's plan is for me yet, but I'm sure it's going to be great. Thank you for letting me share part of my story.